Straight ahead on Grand Junction's #1 10 o'clock news, dangerously strong winds catapult 2 hot tubs into a busy street. Plus, local vets are honored by their retirement home. Also, ShareFest bringing together some of the most caring people as they lend a helping hand to make life easier for hundreds. Stay with us. 11 News at 10 is next.
From Grand Junction's news leader, this is 11 News at 10. 11 minutes of nonstop news and your no-wait weather starts now.
Incredible microburst, as they call it.
Fast, powerful winds launched 2 hot tubs onto North Avenue. Good evening and thanks for choosing 11 News. I'm Natalie Plone. We're so glad to have you with us tonight. A microburst sent a couple of hot tubs flying today. One landed in the middle of North Avenue at the busy intersection of 12th. Luckily, no one was hurt, but it was all caught on tape, and 11 News is the only place you'll see this story.
I weigh 250. There ain't no way you can push that off.
Scott Kelly is a big man. The owner of Aqua Times Pool and Spa says he can't believe what happened this afternoon.
We've had them double and triple stacked. Never has a hot tub ever flown into North Avenue. Never has a hot tub been thrown like this.
And it was all caught on tape.
Based on the camera, they don't call it a tornado, but it's a sure heavy wind burst.
It was a microburst to be exact. The National Weather Service in Boulder, Colorado says wind may have gusted to up to 70 miles per hour because the surrounding buildings caused it to funnel through.
I mean, you're looking at 650 pounds of dry weight that's flat on the surface that was thrown like a little piece of twig.
A microburst is when air descends and accelerates on the ground. Grand Junction Police directed traffic while a forklift was used to pick up the massive tubs. For Kelly, though, he's just glad no one was hurt.
So we have some great buys for slightly damaged hot tubs now.
The Grand Junction National Weather Service says the burst was localized. A truck driver was taken to the hospital after rolling a tanker on Highway 65. That accident happening around noon at mile marker 59. Authorities say the tanker carrying spring runoff water rolled 1 3/4 time, coming to rest on its side. The driver was out and walking around when first responders arrived. He was taken to the hospital for minor injuries. About 10 gallons of water spilled onto the roadway. There was no hazardous material in the water. Both lanes of the highway were closed for about an hour while crews cleaned up the mess and the truck was towed away. Officials say speed was a likely factor in the crash and the driver will be cited for careless driving. Churches from around the Grand Valley came together to lend a helping hand to the community, all in the name of Jesus. 11 News' Matt Vanderveer has more on ShareFest 2011.
It happens only once a year.
And we all go out in the neighborhoods and just help our neighbors.
Of course, she's talking about ShareFest. Organizer Vicki McGee says they're modeling the event after the big man upstairs.
By showing really God's love in just the simplest task.
Homeowner Dixie Arnett says the volunteers have been a godsend.
The ShareFest has come to do some yard work that I'm not able to do.
She says thanks to them, she'll get to enjoy her garden this summer.
They have trimmed back my roses and they're cleaning out the flower beds and raking up for me.
Volunteers also helped out at R5 High School.
Been having luncheons for the R5 young teenage mothers.
Member Betty Schoaf of First Baptist Church says baby toys can be a hotbed for germs.
We're cleaning the toys, and toys, when they're used by many babies, need to be cleaned frequently.
She says the program allows teen moms to continue their education.
Their baby is cared for in here while they're working, studying, and when they're needed, they come and take care of their babies.
Vicki McGee says it's important for Mesa County to work as a whole.
Churches and community and businesses and individuals, we're all out there together.
And this year's ShareFest certainly accomplished that. In Grand Junction, Matt Vanderveer, KKCO 11 News.
A local couple is on its way to help the Red Cross efforts in the ravaged South. An emergency response vehicle and 2 volunteers were deployed at 8:30 this morning. They will be driving to Hoover, Alabama, one of the worst places hit by the tornado. Volunteer Sandra Whitley and her husband will drive 25 hours before they finally hit their destination.
Go out to areas and do hot meals for people that have no electricity, running water, and it's kind of nice to have a hot meal every now and then.
To date, 238 people have died in Alabama alone. That's the largest death toll since 1925, when 747 people were killed from twisters that raged through Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. Last year, more than 200 pounds were gathered at the first ever prescription drug take-back, and this year law enforcement was hoping to double that amount. Mesa County beat its record from last year and gathered 268 pounds of expired, unused, and unwanted prescription drugs. The national event seeks to prevent increased prescription drug abuse and theft. Organizers say the event has positive benefits for the community.
Well, it just gives them a safe place, where a lot of people might wonder about that, well, geez, I have these drugs, but I'm not really sure how I should get rid of them. And this is just a real easy way for them to get rid of them.
The DEA will properly destroy all the drugs collected, and they want to remind people to never flush medicine down the toilet. Veterans living at Mesa View Retirement Home were honored earlier today with a special memorial. 11 News reporter Aaron Luna was there and brings us the story.
Residents at Mesa View Retirement Home watched as members of the VFW replaced the worn-down American flag flying out front. The flag retirement ceremony was part of a larger event, though, the dedication of the Wall of Honor.
The guys who fought on the ground know what war is all about.
Infantryman Robert Parker has his picture on that wall. Fighting in the mountains of Italy during World War II, Parker saw firsthand the sacrifice Americans made for peace.
We only fought 4 months, but in that 4 months we had 50% casualties. And so we had a lot of war in that 4 months.
Parker's picture hangs next to more than a dozen old photos. Navy, Air Force, Army, even cavalry represented here.
The idea of our Veterans Wall was a memorial.
Retirement home manager Bob Morris says they've always wanted to do something for their residents who served. The picture wall was born when one resident offered up his old military photo.
Would you like to hang it up? I said, well, we're trying to put together this Veterans Wall. Yeah, we'd like to do that.
The old pictures here remind everyone at Mesa View that those veterans aren't forgotten.
It seems that people kind of forget. They forget the service. They forget what it was like to be there.
Not so for a veteran like Parker.
Some of us were killed and some of us lived through it.
A memory that will carry on in the faces shown here, as well as the bright colors of the red, white, and blue. In Grand Junction, Aaron Luna, KKCO 11 News.
Now, Scott Aldridge, you're watching the Weather Authority.
Microbursts, snow today. I mean, what is going on?
You name it, we had it all
today. It's the last day of April. I don't get it.
I know, it's like, wait a minute, this is almost May, what it's like here?
Yeah.
I thought I moved out of Greeley to get away from the wind.
This hasn't been typical Grand Valley weather.
That's what I keep hearing. So, hey, let's take a look outside right now to our 11 News live everywhere camp. Okay, never mind, we'll take a look right now. Yes, we might be done with freezes until the fall.
The farmers would like that.
The farmers are going to like that.
Definitely.
My plants are going to like that. And we can start getting things growing and move into summer.
I know, and everybody was talking about all the snow they saw on Facebook. If you get pictures of snow, send them to us at tips@nbc11news.com because we would have loved to share them, but they were just talking about it. Nobody snapped a picture. Snap a picture, people. All right, still to come on 11 News. Hundreds lace up their walking shoes to raise money and awareness for the March of Dimes. And the Rockies needed just one swing of the bat to back Jason Hamill at Coors Field. But could they get that key hit? Highlights a little later in sports.
Watching 11 News at 10 with Natalie Pallone, Scott Aldridge with weather, and Kyle Stanley with sports.
Today, 1 in 8 babies are born premature. Since 1970, people have been walking together for stronger, healthier babies and have raised $2 billion. 11 News reporter Heather Ciappini takes us inside the lives of those who've been affected personally at this year's March for Babies.
Thousands of babies are born each year too soon and too early and leaving parents with one question.
Why me or why my baby?
Leaving mothers feeling cheated out of the pregnancy experience.
Every mom, desires to have a big pregnant belly. I don't know, wearing the maternity clothes or just experiencing the wonderfulness of pregnancy. And When you have them early, it's just, you know, you don't get to have that wonderful baby growing inside you.
This year's March for Babies ambassador family, the Harrises, were excited to be a part of this year's march to reach out to other families who had walked in their shoes.
Zoe, our daughter, she's 7. She was born at 29 weeks, and she was born at 2 pounds, 12 ounces. And Zaid was 34 weeks, and he was 4 pounds, 5 ounces.
For Tammy, it was an emotional roller coaster when her kids were born.
Failure. I felt like a failure that I wasn't able to carry my babies full term, and I felt cheated and robbed out of a healthy pregnancy.
Just like the Harris family, other families didn't ask for the hardships of having premature babies. In fact, they all worked their hardest to have healthy, full-term babies.
We wanted a baby more than anything. We followed all the steps. We went to doctor's appointments, prenatal vitamins, and just for some unknown reason, I got sick and she had to be delivered early.
Parents who have gone through this rocky road have all felt one thing in common.
You know, dealing with a preemie is not, it's not fun. It's not a choice. But once it happens, it's something that you completely embrace.
And with the help of March of Dimes, many babies were walking today.
Go ZZ Team!
And with each step they take, there's hope in raising money and awareness so that another child doesn't enter this world too early. In Grand Junction, Heather Chipini, KKCO 11 News.
This year's March for Babies was able to raise $125,000. 11 News is a proud sponsor of that event. A local group is trying to prevent child abuse and neglect, and they've called on some four-legged friends to help. CASA, or Court-Appointed Special Advocate's goal is to represent children in court who have been abused. So today, the nonprofit held its first annual Canines for CASA. Case manager Josie Wright says they hope to raise $1,000.
We actually have some really good vendors out here that and sponsors, and so they're going to be donating money as well as what we make off of people coming out here.
Today's event had doggy nail clipping and painting, face painting, and a dog competition. CASA is always looking for volunteers and donations. Please contact the organization if you think you can make a difference in any sort of way. Turn off the TV, put away the video games, and get outside. That was the message today from the Division of Wildlife, and more than 1,000 heard it loud and clear. Folks gathered at Riverbend Park in Palisade today as the DOW hosted its 4th annual Outdoor Heritage Day. The goal? To educate kids and adults about the wilderness and wildlife in our own backyard. There was something for everyone to enjoy, from fishing to shooting, even rock climbing. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have released 3 official pictures from their wedding day. They were taken yesterday by photographer Hugo Bernard in the throne room of Buckingham Palace immediately after the couple arrived from Westminster Abbey. Prince William married his longtime girlfriend Kate Middleton, as if you guys didn't know, at the Abbey, then rode in an open carriage to Buckingham Palace. The couple spent their wedding night at the palace and attended a party hosted by William's father for 300 of their closest friends and family members. What a spectacular wedding party that is. Up next in sports, the Grand Junction Tigers won the SWL title today. We'll hear from the team coming up right after the break with Kyle Stanley. There were plenty of strings attached at one event in Poland today. Welcome to the Thanks Jimmy Festival in Wrocław, an annual event for guitar players and fans of Jimi Hendrix. Each year, festival goers try to beat the Guinness World Record for the largest guitar ensemble with the Jimi Hendrix song, Hey Joe. They won the title 2 years ago with more than 6,300 players. I love that guy. This year, though, they were more than 700 guitar players short. That guy that was totally rocking out, looked like you.
Looked like me. I saw Scott in the crowd there.
Does air guitar count?
That's all the time we have for this edition of 11 News. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great Sunday.
Rocking it.